Good morning, garden friends. I'm here in the market garden on this beautiful, sunny, breezy day. Finally, we have some good weather here. So today I'm going to be harvesting my potatoes. Now, it's third week of August, which is a bit early to be harvesting potatoes. But because I've completely neglected my market garden this year, my potatoes have decided that they are ready to be harvested. As you can see, there's absolutely no foliage whatsoever on this row. And generally, that's when you see the foliage die back, that's when you harvest your potatoes. Typically in this area, zone 5B, it's around September into October before the first frost that most people are harvesting their potatoes. But here we are, third week of August, and yeah. I planted two varieties, Yukon Gold and red something that I'm blanking on right now. I will put that down on the screen below. I probably should have looked that up before I started this. Anyway, two varieties. Both are good eating potatoes. They store reasonably well. And I just love them. I love, especially Yukon Gold. They mash up so beautifully. So yeah, so today I'm going to dig these out and kind of brush them off. I don't wash the potatoes. You shouldn't wash potatoes. Just brush them off and leave the dust, dirt on them, and let them dry out, and put them into dark storage. If you wash them off, it can sometimes hasten the spoilage of the potatoes. So I just dust them off and put them in a pile, let them dry out for a little bit in the dark, and then put them in our basement where for most of the winter it is cool and reasonably dry. So yeah, so I'm gonna dig these out with a fork and put them all in the wheelbarrow and then take them up to the house afterwards. Before I start though, can we just take a moment to admire this row of sunflowers and tithonia and cosmos and zinnias? It's amazing. I planted this back in May, all from seeds that I had started, and packed them into the ground and basically did nothing to them. I weeded them once about a month and a half ago, went through the row and weeded them, and that's it. That's all I've done, and it's just amazing. So let me take you along this and just show you up close what this looks like. Bumblebee on the tithonia. This is the orange tithonia. I believe it's called Torch. These things are just crazy. And then some beautiful sunflowers. And here is the yellow tithonia. The bumblebees are just in love with all of these flowers. It's loaded with bumblebees. And the occasional honeybee. Now, I've also done no deadheading. I should have deadheaded all these, but I didn't. And yet the tithonia just keeps coming. It's amazing. Here's a beautiful one. Look at how lovely these are. Oh, little baby bumblebee. Is that a honeybee? I'm not sure what that is. Look at them. Actually, those are honeybees. Yeah, some cosmos. There's a few zinnias tucked in here that badly need deadheading, but at this time of year, I'm not going to bother. And a monarch just flitted by. So yeah, this border is just ridiculous. Look at these multi-stemmed sunflowers. Ton of sunflowers with these pretty little petals that are sort of pointed. Lovely. So yeah, that's the pollinator border that has, done its job. Full of pollinators, butterflies, bees, all kinds of things. Before we get back to the regular potatoes, show you my sweet potato patch here. These sweet potatoes will stay in the ground until pretty much the first frost. I want to give them as much time as possible in the ground here in zone 5B. They are a warm season crop, definitely, and like the heat that we've had. So you need to give them as much time as possible to grow big fat tubers. All right, enough procrastinating. I'm going to get digging these potatoes and see what we have. It's always exciting, the first potato that you dig up. It's a nice little surprise to see what you get. Ooh, look, potatoes, little ones. I honestly wasn't expecting a whole lot this year because I basically ignored this bed. I planted the potatoes in May, watered them for the first few weeks until they started sprouting, and then that was kind of it. I hilled them once. As you can see, it's quite a bit of compost here. Hilled them up once, and I weeded them, but that was it. There's no supplemental water whatsoever other than rain, and we've had a really, really dry summer. So to get anything is exciting. So let's keep digging. Not too bad for one plant. Is that 7 potatoes? Not bad. Let's see what else we can get. I finished digging out the red potatoes, and so now I'm moving on to the Yukon Golds. And I could tell these are Yukon Golds because the stems are much longer and lighter colored than these red stems here. So yeah, these were much bigger plants than the red ones. So here is my red harvest. Not fabulous, but given the amount of work that I did on this, I'm actually pretty pleased. There are some good sized ones in here, like this. Yeah, that's a good sized potato. But there's also, a fair share of these little ones. And that's okay. These will roast up just fine. So I'm pretty pleased with this, given the amount of effort I put into it. And I know that if I really had worked on these, I could have grown more. But oh well, next year. So now I'm going to get to work on the Yukon Golds and get those harvested. All right, moment of truth. Here's the first Yukon Gold plant. Let's see what we've got. Ooh. Look at that. A little small one. Rock. Well, not bad for one plant. I'll keep digging, see if I can find anything else. But I think this is it for this one plant. So 6 potatoes. Let's keep digging. Well, I'm done harvesting all of the potatoes. And here is the crop. The Yukon Golds were actually a little bit of a disappointment. I'm not gonna lie. Usually I have better luck with them. The potatoes as a whole were slightly bigger than the red ones, but there were definitely fewer of them. I did have slightly fewer pieces that I put in, but still, that's kind of a disappointing harvest. But I guess I can't be too greedy because I literally did nothing with these potatoes all year except till them once. And so, you know, I know if I had paid more attention to them, I would have more to show for it. But I guess I'm just gonna have to be happy with what I was able to harvest out of this, this particular season. So next, I will rake over this row. Maybe not today, but I'll rake over this row, level it out. This will actually, whoops, kick the camera here. This will actually make a really nice row next year because it's got a lot of compost and it's just been freshly aerated by my fork. So once I smooth it over, it'll make a really nice bed next year. Well, gardening friends, potato harvest 2025 is in the bag, so to speak. It wasn't a great potato harvest, but again, with the level of effort that I put in, I'm pretty happy. So yeah, I'm gonna get these potatoes inside out of the sunlight and let them dry off a bit, and then rub them off, rub most of the dirt off, and then put them in my basement where they'll stay dark. I'll actually put them in bins and cover the bins so they're in complete darkness, and they'll be in the basement until we eat them up, which actually we may have some tonight, so pretty excited about that. Thank you for joining me as I sit here and watch the little bumblebees on the sunflower. Thank you for joining me in the garden, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye.